Hey guys, it's Evan from TSI. So today I'm going to do a quick video on why I like the AK and why it's a little bit more reliable than some of your ARs. Um, this is one of my AKs. It's a Bulgarian parts kit. It's a virgin kit that I had a friend of mine, Hausman, build. Um, and so I'm going to use this as my demonstration. Go ahead and unload it. Alright, so now it's unloaded. So let's start. Well, I have an extra one hanging out here with the cartridge. One of the reasons it's as reliable as it is the cartridge. You can't really tell because I don't have a 5.56 to compare it to, but the cartridge is tapered. Now, I don't just mean here in the neck. I mean the whole case from bottom to top starts bigger and smaller. Now, the reason for that, and the reason why that's good, is basically think of it like trying to put a cone into a round hole. It is going to go in a little easier because it's just in its shape, and it's going to help as it's twisting into action, which we'll talk about in the battery. It's going to push everything out of the way, and so that is going to help with some reliability. Also, you have, since I'm putting this in the magazine, you have one of the best magazines ever developed. Now, this is a 74 mag, this is a Circle 21, but you have, from the get-go, an anti-tilt follower. You have steel reinforcements in the top, you have steel reinforcements down the front spine, the rear spine, and there's a steel cage around the floor plate and then a steel floor plate. So yeah, it's a polymer magazine, but you have basically AR-15 magazine weight in a tougher, more reliable package. One of the other things I like is on an AR, you tend to have to, when you get the magazine in, get this to work right. Hands are all sweaty, sorry guys. With the AR, usually when you get it in, you have to give it a good tap to make sure it's in. This, I mean, I have 30 rounds in this, and it just goes in. And it's not hard to do at all. So there's that. You know it's in. There's only one way to do it, and there's only one way to load the rifle, which is either come over like this, or underneath like this, or do it the Russian way, which is like that. Any way you want to do, and the safety is very. Now a lot of guys, let me double check this thing, complain and say that the safety is too slow. Now I have a shelf added to mine, kind of like a Krebs, but I'm going to use it like a traditional safety and show you that it is most certainly not slow. Now, I'm going to do some target stuff whenever, I have a chance to actually take it to a range where I can film. But you can see that if I come up, it is not slow. It's actually pretty fast. Alright, so now let's get into the guts. It's pretty easy to take apart and push the rear. Everyone's seen one disassembled. So I got the recoil spring and the bolt. Now, let me take the bolt off the carrier. And you guys who own M1 Garands will recognize this. Now, granted, it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. It rides along on a track right here. And the way this works is when it's going into battery, it's already starting to lock up as soon as this comes forward. The bolt starts to come forward, and you watch it goes back. If I can get my finger out of the way, it goes back, and it starts to turn before it's in the full lockup. Now, if you ever shoot AR-15s or M16s, it waits till it's almost in full battery before it starts to rotate. This one almost immediately starts to rotate. Now, the reason that's good, get that back in there. The reason that's good is it's basically shoving and turning the round into there, like I said before, a screw. So imagine a screw versus a bolt. It kind of gives you a little bit of leeway as far as there being debris in the chamber. Now, couple that with the tapered case, and you have a pretty reliable system. The downside to like 5.56 AKs, they're great rifles, they work fine, is that you don't get the benefit of the tapered case. You do, however, still get the benefit of the premature lockup, the premature rotation of the bolt. So let's take that out, slow it in. Oh look, it's not mushroomed at all. That's weird. I think this rifle has more wear on it than a certain RAS 47 that a certain bald-headed, goateed guy talked about. Anyway, onward. So yeah, you can see, I'm going to put it in its track here. As it's going in the battery, and it's not doing it because of the bolt carrier, but it'll turn and it'll lock up pretty securely. Let's see. Also, one more cool thing, and we'll kind of end off on this, is whenever the magazine is in, on an AR, especially the M4 pattern rifles, you have feed ramps that actually have to help feed the 5.56 in, which is fine, except that in harsh conditions, that's just one more step. It's got to go up, then in. Versus this, and you can't really tell on camera, but the rounds are almost directly in line with the chamber. So when the bolt, so I'm just gonna stick this bolt in here and do it the hard way. When the bolt catches the rounds, it pushes them almost directly in line, then locks it into place. So that's kind of neat. I can't get it to lock. I have that case in there. Cool. So that's interesting. It's almost a straight inline feed. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Now, I already know guys are going to complain and say, well, yeah, you have all that, but you don't have the modularity and the accuracy. Well, yeah, a little bit of that. I mean, it took a lot of fitting to get some of this stuff to work, and a lot of hand filing, and rivets have to be pressed in by hand and stuff like that. Now there are, stock adapters if you want to put an AR stock on it, which I will be doing to this one. The easiest way to mount a light and a optic is just to use the Ultimac, which is pretty easy to do. You don't have to really file or do anything. If you want to go above that, you can, but you really don't have to. So you're talking about two things that a lot of people complain about. Oh, and the grip is a little easier to change. The US Palm is pretty easy. The Magpul is, you need an engineering degree to figure it out. It's not hard to figure out. You just gotta lift a bunch of weights to get the screw to turn. And then the Loctite they put on is garbage, so it just backs out. That's about all there is to say. Also, with the AKs, I forgot to mention, with your Cold Hammer forged barrels, you do get improved barrel life over an AR, unless you're talking a 5.56 AK, in which you get about the same. And then short barrel 5.56 AKs will beat themselves to death prematurely. 5.56 is just a higher pressure round. It's a little bit more velocity, but it's mostly the pressure. So what happens with the 5.56 is you get erosion at the beginning of the barrel right outside the chamber and up at the muzzle faster than you do with 5.45 or 7.62 by 39. They're just lower pressure rounds, even though ballistically the 5.45 is almost identical to 5.56. It's weird how they did that. I'm not going to go into the piston because I really don't think the piston has that much to do with its reliability. It does help, I guess, but the only thing it really does is keep the action clean. But we've seen with piston ARs that they're about the same in reliability, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, that's about it. If y'all have any questions, sorry it's been so long. I've been busy with work and everything else. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Later.